Hello everyone, welcome to the broadcast for this Sunday. How are you all doing today? I hope you all had a fantastic weekend as we approach the last week in August. Time just flies on by, doesn't it? It really does. So, how you all doing today? Hopefully you're doing wonderful. We have our mice here, and they are doing wonderful. Let's see if we can get a good view of them. There we go. That's as best as we can possibly do. Silly mice. I had a fairly good weekend myself, and I hope you all had a good one. We're going to be talking about regret today. What do these mice regret? They regret not sniffing enough feet. That's right. Yes. So, we will dive on into that. We'll talk about how to deal with regret or things regarding regret and everything. Promise, great to have you here. How are you doing today? We haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully everything is doing fantastic for you. And the mice wish you a happy Sunday as well. That's right. Yeah, you got the gift sub, I guess, a few weeks ago. So congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't remember the last time that we saw you here, but welcome back. Hopefully you've been staying busy and in a good way. Let's say, I know it's been so long. Everything is good. Just busy as I started to get back to work and still busy with the baby. Yeah, you're going to be busy with that baby for a long time. Yep. Yep, it's going to be a long road ahead. That is for sure. You know, look, I am already busy with twins. They're already enough to deal with. It is right. For life, indeed. For life, absolutely. Got that baby for life. Dealing with that for life. Same with them. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember when's the last time you were here. I think it was. I don't know. I don't know if I can even see. I don't think I don't think it's even possible. Is it possible? Let me see here. I can see channel activity. Hang on, it's loading something here. I'm curious. I don't know. It just endlessly loads. It doesn't know. Oh, who knows? It does say your channel is 15 years old. That is very impressive. That is older than mine. Did you have to prove that you're an adult? Yeah, you have like the little, there's like a little badge next to your name now. You're number one. So far, you're like the only one here who's commenting. Once some other people start commenting, they fight it out for wars of who's going to be number one, 2, and 3 top fans. Oh. Let's see. But at least a month. Oh, it's definitely been over a month. That is for sure. Yeah. I don't know when, but I'd say several months. But yeah, your channel is relatively old. I've seen people who said that they were hit with the age verification thing. Well, you have to submit your driver's license and everything to YouTube and Google. When their account is over 18 years old. So, you know, I was hit with it as well, you know? Yeah. I'll talk about that momentarily, but why don't we head into our first topic. Mice, I'm so sorry, you're going to have to be placed aside now. We're going to be talking about regret. And I regret that I'm going to have to put them over there. It is just how it is, after all. You know, nothing I can really do about it. How do you deal with regret? When you have regret about something, think it through in your mind. What is regret actually? What do you regret in life? It is a feeling that we all have about something that we are very upset about, some sort of action that we have taken that we know that we shouldn't have taken, or it could be an action that we did not take, that we wish that we did. Whatever the case is, when you have these thoughts of regret, they dwell on your mind and they cause a lot of problems for you because you're not able to rationally see the situation at hand here. Whether it be you acted upon something that was not of your best interest and made you feel really bad about yourself, or you didn't act upon it and you feel really bad about yourself. Well, why don't we discuss some ways of actually dealing with this feeling, because this feeling can be a very negative, disastrous feeling that we can have that really makes us feel like we're really not in control of ourselves. So think about some things that perhaps you wish that you never did in life. It could be minor things like day-to-day things, or maybe it's something a bit more serious, a bit more severe in nature, where you have regret about something that really changed your whole life. It changed perhaps your a career path or something along those lines. Whatever the case is, just think about something that you have regret about, that you did not do. And just understand how you feel about that, how you feel your emotions. Now, let's think about a time where you did not do something and you regret it. You regret not talking to a particular person when you wish that you did, that you wish you had enough confidence to be able to talk with that person. Maybe you wish that you entered into a certain career path, or took a certain class in school, or that you wish that you finished school. It's a very similar feeling that you have when it comes to regret. You regret something and you feel it very deep within you, as if something that you're missing in life, something that is very, very negative, bringing you down, weighing you down, and you may be thinking about it every day. Or whenever you do think about it, it can be very debilitating for you. A lot of times, a lot of this comes down to what your perception is of what is right and wrong for your own life. Do you think it is the right thing to take the action that you did or didn't take the action that you did? Or do you think it's wrong to be doing that? Now, I think we all have a different definition of what is right and what is wrong. Of course, maybe we can agree upon universal things that are wrong and right, but then there will be people who make an argument about those things in their eyes is the right thing to do. So usually when I say right or wrong, it is very subjective in nature. There is really no such thing. So in your mind, you have created this idea of what you think right and wrong is, and you've built your life upon that. And if you don't conform to that, if you make a mistake, if you go outside of that, if you don't do something that you know you should have done, or you did something that you wish you didn't do, that comes back to the right and wrong narrative. Is it right or wrong to be doing those things? And you wish that you knew better. You feel very upset because you didn't know any better. You may have a lot of self-hatred even, that you didn't know any better. Well, ultimately, what I'm getting at with all of this here is that life is teaching you a lesson. Life is teaching you a very, very valuable lesson at this point in your life. That is what regret is meant to teach you here. It's meant to teach you a very vital lesson to move to the next part of your life. And if you're stuck on it, if you're dwelling on it, if you're saying, I wish I could have changed that, I wish I could have done that, you can't. You can't change the past. What is done is done. What you can do is learn to move on from that and not have that sort of regret. So, when you hear all these thoughts going through your mind about these things that you regret, start to calm them down a bit and start to rationalize, what is the life teaching me? What is the lesson that I must learn from this so I'm not repeating the same mistake again? And the lesson that you're learning, are you acting then upon the lesson that you've learned, or are you acting upon fear? Because that's also another crucial thing to bring up here. Because if you think that you have learned a lesson that life is teaching you, and you're acting upon fear to avoid that negative thing that you avoided before, that you perhaps did, you're trying to avoid that, then you really haven't learned any sort of lesson, because then you're acting upon fear. The whole premise here is that you have a clear mind and you're able to rationalize your past mistakes with how you are now, with the decisions that you're making now. So if you're not making appropriate decisions within your life, you're going to continuously have these feelings of regret, and you're never going to learn anything. So it's very important to learn the lesson is, whatever the lesson is. Let's take, for example, here's just some examples that I've heard from other people when it comes to regret, or these feelings that they have. So let's say one person, they regret not finishing high school, or perhaps not even finishing college, for example. Okay, let's not even use high school, because yeah, I mean, that is certainly a bit more problematic. But let's just say that they didn't finish college or anything. Okay, and perhaps they end up regretting it because maybe they feel as though it hindered their life in some sort of way. Well, they're not being thankful or looking at how their life is right now. Their life is a certain way right now, and perhaps there's certain people in it, there's certain things that are happening in it that are of their best interest, of their benefit. But they're not being thankful for that. Instead, they're thinking about something in the past that they think that they made a mistake on. But it was actually of their best interest to not pursue that, to not go that way. So instead of having a regret, they can embrace the situation and realize, I'm in a much better place now. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone else, because I wouldn't do that. If the person were to give advice to anyone else, maybe they would have positive advice to not follow in their footsteps of not completing school. Okay, so that is just one example there. Here's another example that I ended up hearing as well, which this is we're going to use the example of the fear mindset with this. So this was probably several years ago. Someone had said that they regret not, putting money into Bitcoin back in the day. And we're talking, that would be worth a lot of money at this point. Well, here's where the fear mindset comes into play. This fear of missing out. So is this person like, they keep seeing, the price and everything go higher and higher and higher, and they're like, I'm not going to miss out like I did before, and they put so much money in, risking way too much money, and then they end up, having this fear mindset, and it doesn't work in their favor. It ends up going down, and they end up losing a lot of money, and they just sell it off. It's like, gosh, I should have never done that. Just even more regret on top of that. So you have to be mindful when you're making a decision when it comes to regret and learning. Are you actually learning something, or are you making a decision based on fear? That is what you have to differentiate here. But once you learn the lessons that life is teaching you about regret, you will be in a much better spot, and things will be so much clearer for you in your mind. Okay, I would like to say hello to Glucci Slum and Rising Phoenix. Great to have you here. How are you doing? Let me read over some of your comments here. Let's see, I really would like to do more with my channel, but I struggle with consistency. I regret not having more consistency with my YouTube channel since the beginning. See, the best thing you can do, I guess, when it comes to consistency is just set a schedule for yourself and stick to that schedule, and then eventually it will become more of a routine for you. So Okay, marry my ex-husband. Yeah, you know, but here's also the thing. Yeah, that may have been a terrible experience for you, but it also taught you a lot of lessons in your life to attract the ideal partner for you. That is much more suited to who you truly are. So yeah, that is what it's really all about. You know, it's like not all relationships end up working out. You know. Let's say, why do you always pick such deep topics? Because I am a deep thinker. I am a deep thinker. Yeah, I can't not think deeply. That's just how I am. You know, let me tell you a little story here. This is what is so interesting. So when I was in high school, this was at the time that I was very, I was not very good at public speaking. I was terrified of it. And I did self-hypnosis audio to boost my confidence with public speaking. Okay? So I did that, and then I gave a presentation in front of class, and I actually had to ask the teacher for special permission to go over the time limit because I had so many things I wanted to share. And my topic was about like the meaning of life and what happens like to the universe and all that sort of stuff, and our consciousness and spirit and everything. And I remember one of the students asking, it's like, why did you pick such a complex topic? Why not do something about like music or clothes or something? And I'm like, that would be boring. It's like, who wants to sit here and be like, oh gosh, another one of these, you know? So I have always been like that. I have always been like that. It's just what I had liked to do. So I am a deep thinker. Yes. Okay. I see. I don't regret my transition. I regret I didn't do it sooner. Okay. Okay. But still, you know, I always say there's learning opportunities in that. And maybe if you did it sooner, maybe there would have been a different outcome. That's what you always have to factor in. There's always a possibility. You never know. Because if you could see the future, or if you could go back in time and see what the other outcome was, perhaps there was something really bad that was going to happen on that other timeline. That's something that I think about. You know? That's something that I think about. If you did something differently, perhaps there's a different scenario that would have unfolded that would not have been good. Do I believe in psychology? Yes, I enjoy psychology. Yes, absolutely. I learned so much in that marriage. I related to the deep thinker thing. I'm the same. There you go. See, look, there's always something to learn in any sort of marriage. So, marriage or relationship, friendships, family, all that sort of stuff. Now, folks, I mentioned this last time, and perhaps some of you may not have believed me, but guess what? The other day, boom! Hi, Asphodel, we updated your settings. Google couldn't confirm you're an adult. So some account settings have changed. Let's see what they are. So safe search is on. Google may hide explicit content like pornography from your search results. I like how they would supposedly be sending this to someone who's not an adult yet. Personalized ads are off. Google won't show you personalized ads. And then timeline is off. Timeline won't automatically save your visits or routes anymore. So first of all, I don't even use any of this stuff, okay? Safe search, I don't even use Google search, okay? And I definitely don't use it when I'm signed in. Personalized ads are off. I don't, you know, that's good. I don't want personalized ads. And then timeline is off. I don't even know what that even is. But what do they want me to do? That's right. They want, are you an adult? Verify your age and choose the setting that's right for you. Yeah, look. There it is. There is the ID right there. They want me to submit my ID to Google. Like, they already don't have enough information about me, right? They want to have me submit this. All while, on I think the same day that I received this email about them not knowing that I'm an adult, I received the Autumn Asphodel YouTube clipper here. Okay, look, that's let me not blur it here. There we go. So what do we have here? Autumn Asphodel, as you can see. The video is titled How to Sniff Rooster's Feet, and this is take number 69, and the date is 4/20. There we go. Take number 69. And this is our director right here, Director Rooster. That's right. That's right. So yes, YouTube sent this to me on the same day that they said, we don't know if you're an adult. I was like, hold on now. Are you an adult? Oh man, I tell you. Show us your ID. Show us your ID. Love it. So yes, that'll be the next video, folks. How to sniff rooster's feet with many attempts and takes. So be on the lookout for that on 4/20. Anyway, I'm gonna put that away now. We don't need to look at that. Let's see here. You believe in theory of attraction, that you become what you say. Yes, it's not just that, the law of attraction. It goes very deep. I've used the law of attraction to bring many things into my life, and then I'm sometimes very shocked at what I get. It's quite amazing. It really is. Sometimes you just ask. All you got to do is just ask. It's like, whether it be, you know, God or the universe or your guardian angels or spirit guides or your true self, whatever it is, just ask that, like, show me this, or something that I have been doing lately, and it is very interesting. It says, remove the people from my life that no longer serve my best interest or who are not here for my own personal good or well-being. And then bring the right people into my life and strengthen the connections that I have that are for my greatest good. So I do that and I ask that, and I notice the people around me change. They either become super weird or distant, or they become much closer and more communicative, or they change in some sort of positive way. I'm like, okay, well, there you go. There's the sign. And sometimes it can be quite shocking, because then you start to see, oh, I thought this person perhaps was a friend, but they're really not. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can feel really bad. So that's just something that I've been doing when it comes to law of attraction. Just putting some sort of intention out there. So, yeah. Okay. The more you talk about negative topics, the more you attract them. Yeah, I mean, you know, I talk about negative topics because I want people to become aware of them, I guess, you know? So maybe I attract negative things, I don't know. I love your genre. You're one of the best on YouTube. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I know I'm heavily, like, shadow banned on YouTube. People can't find me. People sometimes still say, oh, I haven't seen your videos in forever. And it's like I post one every single day. You know, I post a video every single day, almost. I mean, it's not always. Sometimes there are days that I don't, obviously. But yes. So, I would like to talk a little bit now about what I regret in life. Gosh, you know, I have so many regrets. I just cannot even count them all. Honestly, I regret my entire existence from the moment of birth to this day. No, I'm just, LOL JK, I'm just kidding. How many people actually believe that? How many of you actually believe that? That I've regretted everything? Okay. Let's start to roll back a little bit here, and let's actually start to discuss this. Because the thing is, perhaps when I was younger, I did have regret. Sure. Because I was much younger then. I didn't have the experience that I now have. However, in my life where I am now, I don't regret things. When I make a mistake, when I do something bad, when it goes through my mind, or something that I missed out on, you know, whatever it is, I'm like, I have to learn from that. I don't have a regret. I guess the feeling can be very similar to regret, in that I feel like a sense of like, gosh, I wish I did that. I wish I did that. that is a feeling of regret. But then I tell myself, I'm going to change that behavior. I'm going to change that action. I'm going to learn from the mistake, learn the lesson, and not repeat it the same way. And perhaps next time I'm in that situation, I get a little better, but maybe not fully. So it is a learning progress, but I'm very patient with myself in this learning journey that I'm in. So that's just how it is. So yes, from the moment of birth until now, I just regret every single millisecond that ever existed. No, that's not how we are here. It's not how we are. So you may be wondering then, okay, learning lessons, making better choices going forward, growing, becoming a better person. Well, I've talked about mistakes that I've made in the past. Like, some time ago, I made a video which was very, very popular, like several years ago, about regretting my transition and everything, just feeling some sort of level of regret. And I don't think I really said that I regret that sort of stuff in there. I don't remember. It was quite a long time ago. But basically, it was basically saying that there were certain things that I did that perhaps I should have waited a little bit on. But once I sorted a lot of that stuff out within my own life, then I started to realize that perhaps if I did not take the action I did with my transition, that things would be much worse in my life. So I look at it from a positive lens. Like, okay, maybe there are side effects, maybe there are problems, maybe there are issues, but maybe I can find some sort of way of working that out, which I did. It really was mostly the hormones that I was taking that was literally completely destroying my entire body. I mean, it was literally just destroying it all. Now, things are a lot better. They really are. Things aren't perfect, but they're way better than they were before. So, it is very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting when you really start to think about actions that you've made in the past that you wish that you did. I'm very patient now. So I don't think about regret. I take the lessons that life is teaching me. So I'm sure I'd be wondering then, it's like, okay, perhaps I went through all those years. Like, why didn't I notice some of the problems that I had sooner when it comes to my own well-being and health? Why did I wait so long? Why did I do those things in the past? And I think it's because I just wasn't ready yet. I needed to become aware of something first in order to get to a better place myself. So, sure, I've made mistakes and I've learned from those mistakes. And I'm a better person as a result of the decisions that I've made in the past. And then I help other people realize that maybe they shouldn't be rushing into things. Maybe they should take it a little bit slower. Maybe they need to realize that everything's not going to be perfect. There will be problems, and you have to be ready for those problems, because I wasn't ready. No one ever told me any sort of problems. So that's just something that I was mindful of now. And I'm very conscious now. And I'm here saying that so other people are aware and conscious of the decisions that they make, that maybe they're not really thinking it through 100%, or if they do, maybe they're turning a blind eye. Like, there's people that I know, it's like I've told my story about the problems here, and I see similar problems in these people, and I'm gonna say, I'm telling you, this is what it is, this is what it is. Oh, I don't think that's what it is. It's like you are in a spot where I was, where I used to be. I'm trying to tell you, they don't want to listen to it. So it's a sad thing when you see other people struggling with something similar as you, and you're trying to tell them, hey, get the hint here. This is what's going on. And they just completely flat out deny it and don't want to believe it, because we don't want to believe that we've made a mistake. We don't want to let ourselves down. We don't want to be thinking, gosh, my whole worldview is now shattered. We don't want to think that. So we turn a blind eye and we just look away. It is easier to just look away. well, we can't be doing that. We have to face it head on. And that's exactly what I have done about all sorts of things in my life now. I don't regret. I face it head on and I learn. It's a slow learning process, but I get there over time. So do the same thing and you will realize that there's no need to have regret. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, I can't remember how I found you, but it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That is absolutely amazing. I'm very glad. Very glad. Yeah, you found me long ago. Yeah, people find me for all sorts of different reasons. How many of you found This Silly Loser through us? Those silly mice. No matter how bad the topic, you always open it up in a positive way, but sometimes I avoid if I see a strange topic. What do you consider a strange topic? I'm very curious about that. What do you consider a strange topic? I am glad you're feeling more comfortable than you used to be in the past, but I really liked your more fake version of you from the past. There was something different about it. Oh, a fake persona in the past. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know, I think that's a think about this. So I don't know what was necessarily fake. I think I was just different back then. I was much more reserved in expressing myself. So I was a bit awkward and different back then as opposed to how I am now. But it's interesting because that was I guess that was fake, right? Because it wasn't authentic to who I truly am now. You know what I mean? But if we even think about like if that was more entertaining or more enjoyable, I mean, that's what a lot of people do on the internet. They have this persona, like, for example, I just think like some like gaming channels and everything. Like they play a horror game and they're like exaggerated like screams and scares and it's like, oh, that was so scary. And it's like, come on, that is fake. And to me, I can spot it very easily and I don't like it. I don't like fakeness. I like authenticity. So if something is not authentic, I don't like it. So that's just my thought about the matter. It is interesting though. It is interesting. Boys, do you have anything else to say? No, ladies. Were these mice there back in the day? Look how cute. Look at all those feet too. There's like so many feet here. Anyway, the mice are just so cute. I just can't. All right. It would never happen. You're preventing yourself from success by thinking negatively. I guess you can call this the law of attraction, right? The fears you have, your hesitation in taking action, if you have those feelings, then you will never be able to attain your goal. Your goal will never happen. Now, maybe that seems very negative, but let's break it down here, because the thing is, negative thought patterns. Negative thought patterns leads to regret. Regret. We don't need those sort of negative thoughts leading to regret, because if you're scared, if you have fear, if you're hesitant about taking action, guess what happens? It's going to lead to you feeling a regret about not taking that action because you were too scared. you were too scared. You were too hidden. You were hiding yourself. You could not be as seen by other people. If you don't take the action because you're afraid or shy or hesitant, that leads to these negative patterns. What else does it do? It also prevents your true potential. What is your true potential? What do you aspire to be in life? If you really think about it, perhaps you want to go somewhere very important in your life, certain career, certain thing, but that requires a lot of work, and it requires you to step out of your comfort zone a lot of times. And it's very hard for you to do that. You don't know how to do it. So whenever something gets too hard, you back away for a little bit instead of pushing through. You know, it's almost like you want to be able to speak in front of massive amount of people, be a motivational speaker or something else along those lines. You want to give presentations in front of groups of people. You prepare everything. You feel as though you have confidence, and then the time comes. You're right behind the stage, waiting to go out, and you have so much fear. I can't do it. And you back away, and you're done. That is your fear preventing you from living to your fullest potential. Instead of just charging through it and breaking through it, you instead hold yourself back. It distracts you from what your purpose is. If you feel as though you have a deep purpose within your life to fulfill something, and you hold back, you're not going to be fulfilling what your purpose is. It disconnects you from your true self, who you truly are at the deepest part of your being. Let's just use me for an example here, because way back in the day, before I even started YouTube, making videos online and everything, I started with the YouTube in 2013. Okay? I had all these thoughts going through my mind. It's like, I want to be able to help people. I know that I can provide a lot of helpful information to people to help them in some sort of way. But I didn't know how to do it because I was too afraid. And it's like, I got an idea then. It's like, okay, what if I were to post videos online? It's like, I can't do that. It's like too scary for me to be able to do that. But then, it's just like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to post it, and there it is. Then the rest is history. So it really helped me, because if I was still afraid, if I was fearful, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you about not having this fear. Now, of course, it's a little different when you're talking in front of a camera. I mean, come on now. I'm just here talking to a camera. There's no audience. I don't see any people here. It's just me, my computer, and my mice. Okay, so that's it. There's no fear there, right? Now, what if that's different in front of a group of people? Sure, that's a little different now, isn't it? Yeah, so there's certainly a difference there. So instead of this negative mindset of fear, being afraid, being shy, being hesitant about something, change that mindset to something more positive, such as, it will happen. It will happen. Or, it is happening. And make it happen. Make what your goal is in life, what your true desire is, make it actually happen. Disconnect from the doubt and negative thought patterns to make your dream come true, whatever it is. You have a dream deep within you, a desire to be a certain person, pursue a certain career path, pursue something within your life. You feel something deep within you that you want to accomplish. But you're too afraid to do it. So put that aside and instead focus on your goal and make that happen. You have to put in the effort for that. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You think it's going to happen overnight? It's not going to. It's going to take a lot of effort and work. So you have to be diligent about it, to put in the time and effort for you to be able to accomplish that. Listen to the inner voice of intuition and what your true self or your spirit is saying to you. Is this something that resonates with you? Is this something that you feel deep down is what you should be pursuing in life? If you feel as though you are working a certain job and you just feel as though, it's like, I like my job, but I don't feel as though this is what I'm meant to do. Then explore where that thought goes. Where's it leading you? Maybe it's guiding you in a different direction, that you should be pursuing something else. Something else that makes you feel fulfilled in life. Whatever it is, you have to be able to step out of your comfort zone, because once you do, that's when progress is made. The moment you do the difficult thing, you've already leveled up. You know, think of it like a video game, you know? It's like, how do you get experience points to level up? You have to kill enemies or monsters or whatever it is, you know, in the game. And usually the tougher that they are, the more you will level up. So that's how life is. The harder something is for you, the more you will learn and grow from that experience. If instead you're going to be too hesitant and not pursue your interests and just keep pushing things away, not really thinking about what your true self and what your intuition is guiding you, you just ignore all that, then it will never happen. Your goals, your dreams, everything that you wish to have in life, it will never happen. Because you're preventing yourself. The mind, your own mind, is preventing yourself. So change the mind, because you have an ability to change your mind. And then once you do, so many opportunities will open up to you, and you will feel so much more happy and confident and connected to your true purpose. Would like to say, I would like to say hello to Ice Despresso. Let's go. How are you doing today? As well as Franz. Great to have you here. Let's see here. Let's see. On every channel, you are different. Yes, we have to be different than any other one. Stop reading me. Yes. Look, we were reading you exactly, right? Well, we're about to do a tarot reading. Maybe that you'll be able to. I will read you there even. Let's see. Yeah, you know, it is interesting. You know, it's just about learning. If something does feel like you and it is something negative, learn from it. You know, it's like, don't beat yourself up so much on it. You know, it's like, we all have problems in life. We're all not perfect, okay? But that's not what we should be trying to be. We should just do our best and just be happy and don't live a life of regrets, you know? That's how it should be. Say, what's about being different, like in the past? You decide to be like everyone else and blend in. Not entirely. I'm not understanding exactly. Okay, so I would say, I guess for me, I've never felt the need to blend in. I've never wanted to blend in. That's just not how I am at all. So I've always been an outcast, always. So yeah, I just don't have any desire to blend in. I'd rather just be myself. To me, it's like, oh, blending in, you know? Ugh. No. Do you believe in a fruit? And that all the problems come from childhood? Most of the problems do indeed come from childhood. Yes, absolutely. Let's see, there is a psychotype called infinite. We grow what to do. I'm not familiar with that. Infantile. We never grow. If you never grow, you never mature. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there are some people like that, absolutely, who never learn, never mature. That is a hard one because if you don't learn from your mistakes, you will never mature. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so that is a hard one. It really is. I don't know what to really do about that, you know? If you never matured, if you were never able to see, then you have to really sit yourself down and realize, where are things going wrong? Why are you not learning? Why do you keep repeating the same mistakes again and again and again? That's really what you have to be thinking about here. Since obviously you keep repeating some level of mistake again and again and again, and you're not learning from it, you need to learn. It's time for you to learn. Learn something. Anything. You know? So, anyway, folks, now we're about to do the tarot reading for this week ahead. Mice. These are mice. Are always here, slacking around. Slacking mice. Slacker mice. Anyway, let me get this ready. And let's see what the week ahead. Last week's reading was relatively negative, so hopefully it wasn't negative for you. Or you were able to find a positive way out of it. 100% a misfit. There you go. That is what we like here. Infantile is just a psychotype, like sociopaths. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess if it's related to that, absolutely. It could just be a type of personality that really needs to learn something. It's all ego. When you think about it, all personality, all that sort of stuff, it is all ego. Okay? Because it's all within the mind. Your ego is your front that you put on, the mask that you put on to other people. It's not who you are at the deepest level. Terribly addicted to torturing myself mentally. Well, that is very, very sad to hear. Well, maybe some things will begin to change for you in a more positive way. Possibly. Let us do the tarot reading for the week ahead. This is going to be the final week in August. So August 25th through the 31st. We're going to give these a nice shuffle here, and we're going to give it a try now. Okay, let's head on down. What do we have? Let's see what we draw. What are we going to get? Let's see, we're going to draw the one for the beginning of the week. What's going to happen at the beginning of the week here? Show us the beginning of the week. What to be mindful of. What to be mindful of at the beginning of the week. Oh, a bunch of stuff have come out here. I think it's going to be in this little pile here. I think it's the first one. Put those back. Put those back. Okay. That is the beginning of the week ahead. Now, what about the middle to the end of the week? The last week in August. What is the middle to the end of the week? Oh, something just flipped inside of the deck. Okay. Get that in there. Okay, and then lastly, the weekend ahead. What does the weekend bring us? What is something we need to be mindful of this weekend? What do we need to see for this weekend ahead? The final weekend of August. There it is. That one almost flipped that as well. Okay. Let's see what we have here. So for the beginning of the week, we have the Knight of Pentacles here. As you see, this amazing person right here riding the knight. I mean, this a knight riding this green, lovely horse. Okay. So this can indicate. Take a look here. Being efficient with your work, putting in a lot of hard work and dedication. It can indicate that there's some sort of action that is swiftly moving, that could be a little bit, like you really have to just ground yourself and be responsible for some of the actions here. Now the thing is also, a lot of the hard work that you put through, maybe it's a very, very positive thing that will be coming into your life. A lot of the rewards that you have put into your work have finally starting to come into fruition here. This can be, it can be usually pentacles being money related, but it could be general with life or work or any sort of situation going on within your life. And as long as you're waited, you've been patiently waiting for this opportunity, and maybe finally now that at last the moment has come that success will finally arrive here. So it is a lot about the hard work and being you basically saying you are responsible for that hard work, and that's a very, very positive thing. But also to just be mindful of some of the actions in accordance with that. Okay, so for the middle to the end of the week here, this is the one that flew out inside of the deck as well. So this is the Empress. Take a look at her. Okay, so the Empress, this is also another card of a growth as well. Good rewards are coming into your life, bringing things into fruition. So it certainly sounds like whatever things you are bringing into your life or manifesting or have been working hard at within your life, it's starting to come into reality. It's starting to finally show signs. And this is a very nurturing card as well, where now that things are really starting to grow, it's like they're finally being fulfilled. You're finally starting to see a lot of the growth there. A lot of the perhaps creative work that you've been doing, also very, very positive sign here. Now this is a kind of a feminine card here. It could indicate very femininity in some sort of way, whether it be with some sort of relationship or marriage, or even kids or pregnancy even. So it could indicate a lot of positive motherly figure type energy. So very, very positive card as well to really guide you. And let's see what the weekend brings ahead. Okay, so the weekend, our last weekend in August, we have here the Ace of Cups. This is new feelings, spirituality, really a lot of your spiritual gifts may be opening up. As you can see, there is an eye here. There's an eye here looking in front of this cup here, as perhaps some very positive things maybe on the way, because this is an ace. It is like the beginning of something very, very good also. New beginnings. When it comes, usually it could be emotional in nature, start of a new relationship or the beginning of love and happiness. Perhaps if you're, maybe a lot of this stuff is really starting to work out. Maybe this is more of a love type situation if you find yourself in that sort of situation. And if you already are in some sort of relationship, it could start to represent perhaps a more solid ground is starting to be formed, or there's going to be more positive things in that realm, and that's going to be this weekend. So it certainly sounds like there's going to be a lot of positivity coming this weekend, or this week in general. A lot of things that you've been working hard for, finally things are starting to make sense. Finally, you're starting to see all of the hard work that you're putting in come to fruition here, and perhaps there's going to be some sort of new positive growth, and it could be with love and relationships this weekend, whatever the case may be. So it looks very, very good for our final week in August. Okay. So very, very interesting. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay. Let's see here. Could you please do a reading on Jay Slater? I have no idea who that is, but let's draw a card for this Jay Slater person. Whoever they could be, I don't know personally, sorry. Okay, Jay Slater. What do we need to know about Mr. or Jay? J. Okay. One card, please, for a J. There it is. There it is. We have here the Knight of Wands. We take a look at our book. Read this to you. Knight of Wands. Okay, so this is about... yeah, some... energy that is moving very, very quickly and rapidly, but you should not be moving too quickly. Not be moving too quickly. Because there's a lot of rapid movement. It could feel like a roller coaster ride, but you must not act quickly. You must stay grounded and think things through. You must check all the details first. Let's see. Interesting that last week's reading was kind of negative because that week was emotionally heavy for me. Wow. So even if you didn't... did you watch the tarot reading from last week, Promise? Because if not, then wow. Yeah, it was representative of that. It showed basically that at the beginning of the week, it was something negative. Where is Jay Slater now? Well, something just came out here. I mean, this isn't going to tell you where, but I got the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune usually represents, you know, it's your destiny. Let's see. Let's see here. Let me read this to you. It should be pretty self-explanatory. Wheel of Fortune is the destiny card. It brings positive changes of fortune unless badly aspected, and can indicate the commencement of a new cycle when progress can be made. So, I don't really know how all that would fit in here, but you know what's very interesting? So I do these interesting tarot readings and everything. I don't get the repeated cards anymore. It's interesting because early on when I started to do them like months ago when I was really getting back into them, it was telling me something about certain cards that I would get all the time. You know, I would see the same cards again and again and again for certain situations. And it was telling me something. It's like very interesting. So, I wonder if I can see it here. Let's see if I can even see that card. Probably not, but it's a bit of a provocative card. Is he still alive? You see, look, I mean, you're going to kind of get some, there it is. I got it. There it is. You know, you're going to kind of get some mixed information about that regarding that, because it's like, how are we going to know? You know, how are we going to know? I don't know. It's not going to sit here and say yes or a no, you know? It's going to give you some information. But that information could be something that you really have to see all the facts first when it comes to the situation. So I don't know if it can necessarily answer something like that. No. So isn't he the guy who had a mysterious death in Spain? Is that what happened? I don't know. You know, sometimes if I'm, you know, thinking about a question and kind of answering a question, I'll just kind of go, what does this go to? The High Priestess. This is what I got here. This is an interesting card. I've seen this card a lot. It's one of my favorite cards. And I like this particular line in this book. And it says, the High Priestess represents mysteries and secrets, and so indicates that there is more depth to some matter than you have seen so far. So whenever I get that card, that makes me see like, okay, there's far more to this than I have seen. So take that what you will when it comes to that situation. I don't know. But anyway, folks, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to this broadcast today. I will see you again for our final broadcast of August on the actually, wait. I don't think that I'm doing a stream next week. That's right, folks. No, there will not be a stream next week, but I have a gift. I have a celebratory gift. Thank you for all of the hearts. I appreciate. Celebratory gift for all of you. Let's see who got them. Vista. Oh, we love all those hearts. Yum. Oh, wait, I gotta do. It's not working. No hate, TS beautiful. Great that you are a member now. I think I have to turn off this webcam and turn it back on. Hold on. Texan Leo, great to have you as a member. Food for Thought with Olivia Maynard. That sounds like an interesting channel. And Muicide. Yeah, who is this Food for a Thought person? Let's see. Interesting. Anyway, boys, any final words? Can you put the hearts back up? I would like to eat them. Okay. Yum. That's right. They love to eat them. Anyway, folks, as I said before, there will be no stream next Sunday. So I will see you in September. September 7th will be our next broadcast. So see you all later. You all take care. Have a great one and take care. Bye-bye. Oh, I should mention the gift memberships that people got. You get 1 month early access to new videos. So if you want to see videos that won't be available until October and November, you can check them out. Right now, let me tell you what some of these videos are, because there are some interesting ones. We have spotting and dealing with toxic people, how to deal with people who make excuses. Soulmate versus twin flame connection, how to perform a love manifestation and getting out of a third-party situation. Those last three are very relatable to me, personally. It's very interesting. Anyway, you all take care, have a good one, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.